This is the finals of the top 16 of the Twin Sunz Open. And now MartinKartin has to jump in with Ezreal Gangplank and burn his way through. This deck has 3 Dreadways, guys. I'm excited for this one.
Triple Dreadway. An excellent deck. We're going to jump into game right now so we can spectate. A couple early turns have just been passed. No Solari Soldier. MartinKartin has the Ballistic Bot already set up early. And it's going to be up to Gvuardya to curve out here and press this advantage. 3-2 Challenger lining up beautifully against the Ballistic Bot before it can get boosted. Looks like this might be countered by Make It Rain or perhaps a Mystic Shot here to protect.
Yeah. See Gvuardya just going with the same deck. This deck does have a lot of healing, so on paper it should be a decent matchup. Lots of healing against a burn deck is always solid.
Yeah, so here it is. Mystic Shot being put on the stack is going to be countered by Sharp Sight to survive this attack. Get the Ballistic Bot out of the way. Tone down that burn. But there's another follow-up Ballistic Bot. Gvuardya's work is not yet done. Dragonguard Lieutenant needs to stay alive and come back out of retirement to take down another foe. Zap Sprayfin. Very slow play. Drawing a card is important, but this is probably the best chance you're going to have to develop a 4-mana 2-2. And at the very least, you know, the Dragonguard Lieutenant isn't going down this round.
It gets the attune spell mana, so you can drop Ignition Still to start pinging that Nexus, building up that Ballistic Bot, but...
Want to take a quick moment to shout out Fresh Lobster for the raid here, sharing his viewers with the finals of the Twin Sunz Open. Well played today, my friend.
Yeah, very well done, Lobster. Great run. Great run.
And looking at this match, opting for the Screeching Dragon. Doesn't want to go for the open attack against the Ballistic Bot, simply because, you know, again, another follow-up Mystic Shot or a Static Shock or Make It Rain would not guarantee it dies. So by developing the Screeching Dragon, you have a much better chance of taking down this burn.
So this Make It Rain does ping the Dragonguard Lieutenant, which is pretty much what he would want from that.
And that's exactly what you want to see. Get rid of that Challenger. Screeching Dragon has to go through onto the Ballistic Bot. I think ideally, maybe you do want the Make It Rain to hit the Screeching Dragon, so it takes a little bit more damage from the Ballistic Bot here. Ooh! Gvuardya says, no, give me the Zap Sprayfin. I guess technically, you know, this would be more damage on average over the course of the game.
Yeah, let the Ballistic Bot live here. Get the damage ping still building, but yeah, Sprayfin would have been doing 2 a turn.
So MartinKartin actually doesn't cast the Ignition there. Wants to float that extra spell mana. And I guess theoretically, you know, you could pretty much kill the Ballistic Bot whenever you want, or by just developing your curve, you force your opponent to block. Funsmith. Such a terrifying card. It's only a 1/3, but if you don't have the tools to answer it immediately, your opponent's removal starts to stack up incredibly well against your board.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I mean, this deck is definitely scary. If he gets Funsmith established on board consistently throughout, and he's running 3 times Dreadways, if he gets one of those out as well, these spells are going to be absolutely massive, right? Your Make It Rains and your Static Shots turn into just insane amounts of damage.
And now the Ignitions are dealing 2 damage. And this, we haven't even seen Gangplank, no Dreadway, no Ezreal. Once we get into the later stages of the game, you know, with those sorts of threats and Riptide Rex, the board is going to swing wildly. And you think that the Screeching Dragon would actually be pretty safe to take out this 1/3, but, you know, Mystic Shot's dealing 3 damage, Make It Rain's dealing 2 damage. There's a lot of card combinations now that can deal this 4 HP pretty easily. There's even triple Get Excited in this list.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. And, you know, the challengers are really good. So he does let that attack go through. The challengers are needed. Like, you do need to threaten the Funsmith and the Ballistic Boss before they get too large. So Gvuardy's done a good job so far doing that. He's gotten the kill on the first Ballistic Bot. He gets the kill there on the Funsmith as well. And that's not a bad pull from a petty officer. Recently buffed.
Oh no, I forgot the buff to rearguard is a buff to petty officer. Stop it, Riot. This already pulls 1 mana 2/4s. So here comes the ignition. MartinKartin, despite being on 11 HP, because we know this deck is built to be so burn focused and so explosive, it can burn you from behind, essentially. You know, Gvuardya is all the lethal damage is going to be an attack. And so that gives MartinKartin a window to just put a bunch of burn on the stack. It'll be the classic finisher. So as long as you develop some blockers here, you know, technically a whiff here from the petty officer, but with second Funsmith, you have a much higher chance of just controlling the board itself.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, he has a lot of possible damage from hand. The good thing about Gvuardya's lineup right now is he does have the Sunforger and a Star Shaping. So if he does start getting really low on Nexus health, he has a decent amount of healing there. And he can apply decent pressure. I mean, his board is withstanding a lot here. He can't really be Martin can't really be just throwing things out because he does have dragons just to chomp all those up.
And again, doubling the damage of the ballistic bots. Gvuardya may be getting punished a little bit here by taking down the Zap Sprayfin instead of this. The burn damage matters a lot. This is direct plunder as well to the Nexus to level up Gangplank. And that's another AoE that's affected by Funsmith. It's very frightening. We know that the heal is there. We see Solari Sunforger and Star Shaping in hand. But it's all predicated on combat. Like, if you attack with a lifesteal unit, if with its only 4 HP, if a Funsmith get excited, KOs it, you're gonna have a bad time.
Both players definitely taking their time here. Just really need to maximize their resources. We are at turn 8, so we could start seeing some of the bigger drops. MartinKartin, like I said, is running 3 Dreadways. He even has a Riptide Rex. You guys remember Riptide Rex? There's one in the deck.
Good old Rex. And again, like, the damage being boosted by Funsmith means it hits the units even harder, and that means that the leftover damage that goes through units that have died hits the Nexus even harder. Leona's finally leveling up here, and you can see the Solari Sunforger being forced out on defense. MartinKartin doesn't actually need to attack here.
Yeah, and he doesn't have anything like a single combat or a Concerted Strike to actually get the value off of that lifesteal right now, which is pretty massive, because now this lifesteal, this Sunforger, essentially is just going to go, you know, to the wayside. The only possibility that he could make up from this is if he does use his Morning Light, it will reactivate the Daybreak effect of that, and he could possibly get a 7-attack lifesteal unit on offense here.
That's definitely a pretty strong commitment. If you go for the Morning Light, you are opening your opponent up to, you know, the same way you'd put something like a Pack Mentality on the stack, some kind of wide board buff or a Mind Meld. It gives your opponent a chance to snipe out a little bit of your board to mitigate that damage. But Ravun on top of a potential Morning Light is massive. You get the stun. He generated a Morning Light, so now you get to cast that one.
Yeah.
The Dreadway. So now we have Funsmith plus 1, Dreadway to double.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, Morning Light could be risky as well. If he did have a ton of spells, though, you know, theoretically his hand could have been absolutely bonkers with, you know, Mystic Shots and Get Excited, where he could have been almost to lethal, but now he's down to 4 mana, and I think you can pretty safely put the Morning Light on the stack here.
So that Ignition that's in the hand deals 4 damage. Static Shock here would also be deal 4 damage to 2 things. You wipe the Screeching Dragon and the Solari Sunforger. Sends it to the Nexus. 6 damage!
And if he has one more Mystic Shot, I mean, why wouldn't that be on the stack now, right? Doesn't make any, so he probably doesn't have another Mystic Shot, but he's at 2 mana. He could have a parlay, but nothing's low enough to kill with that yet.
And for those of you who don't know, Parley can target the Nexus directly.
for 3 at this point, right? Or for
There-
4, right?
And the ignition deals 4 damage still because of the Funsmith and the Dreadway effect. Is the burn there for MartinKartin?
So that's 4 damage. And Parlay is also a slow spell, so he should... Gvuardya might be able to attack with the lifesteal before he can get both a Parlay and a Ballistic Bot attack off.
Oh my god, my heart is racing. Like seeing
It
that
shows
card
something.
being pulled out of the hand and put on the stack. With 2 mana, MartinKartin is maybe just fearing single combat. If you put your burn on the stack first, then the lifesteal can go out ahead of it on reaction. But if that last card is a Mystic Shot, you maybe don't need to... Is there enough blockers? There's only 2 against this wide board. MartinKartin's forced into a corner, has to pull the trigger on this, I think, against single combat, which we can see he does not have.
He does not. So if this is the second Mystic Shot, he can block with... it looks like Ezreal isn't stunned, so Ezreal and the Petty Officer can block. But if it's a second Mystic Shot, from what we see, he can't do anything about it.
It's hovering. It's got to be if you're putting a fast speed spell on the stack, right? When you look at the rest of
what else is fast speed?
That's a Mystic Shot.
That's a Mystic Shot.
Ezreal's Mystic Shot at that. Funsmith lives.
Wow.
Dreadway comes down.
Incredible.
So that is game 2 going to MartinKartin. Malagos, the ship, coming down. Unfortunately, not a Sudoku here. No single combat for that 2 mana. I would have loved to see it happen. The lifesteal to get out ahead, drag this game out for another couple rounds. But the Dreadway was still alive, and who knows what other burn was lurking in MartinKartin's hand. So that is the finale of the Twin Sunz Open. A big thank you to Gvuardya for providing a last-minute perspective for us to spectate that phenomenal set. MartinKartin bringing some redunculous decks. The spiciest I've seen in quite a long time. Ezreal, Gangplank, Dreadway, Monastery of Harana, Lissandra combo. And both players, again, still making that top cut. They're both still getting a little bit of that cash prize. But MartinKartin, I saw you in chat, big shout out to Twitch chat, saying that he is the Czech prodigy. And
the prodigy himself.
This is a player that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Someone that not only is bringing innovative decks, but is also piloting them against other like meta builds is just phenomenal to see. It shows how diverse Runeterra can truly be, especially when you have, if you're fearless and you play well.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, we didn't get to see Martin's third deck. It was banned, but we said Zoe. It wasn't just Zoe Lee Sin. It was actually Zoe Victor Vi. So I know Ruben Zoo is running that on ladder a bit. I mean, he's running 2 Submersibles. I mean, this was pure spice front to back. I absolutely loved these 3 decks that he brought, and super impressive run. I mean, not only obviously did he have a really good run on Saturday in the Swiss rounds, but he also just did absolutely fantastic today. I mean, he crushed the competition, clean 2-0 win there. I'm nothing but impressed. Nothing but huge kudos to MartinKartin. And I'll look through today. Turns out he didn't drop a game today.
Ooh, undefeated through the top 16. We gotta keep an eye on this man. We got to keep an eye on the Czech peeps all day. It's incredible. The new strong region up and coming. I remember a few months ago it was Germany, and now it's Spain. EU is just, there's something in the water. There's something in the water over there. These crazy players just keep coming out, and I mean, even the top cut of this tournament today was mostly EU players, right? Fresh Lobster, Broken Ball, Gvuardya. That's definitely the region to look out for. And huge thank you to all the competitors for dedicating 2 weekends worth of time to participate in this event, showing off fantastic gameplay for us to spectate today for the good of the audience. And again, big shout out to our sponsors for the Twin Sunz Open, Runeterra CCG for sweetening up that prize pool, the Casuals of Runeterra podcast, where they explore their own perspectives and analyze the lore of the world of Runeterra, also sweetening that prize pool. And also a third shout out to Optima, a competitor in the Twin Sunz Open, who also put his money where his mouth was and also added a little bit to the prize pool today. And one final shout out, of course, to our hostess with the mostest, Twin Sunz, for putting this together and deciding on, seriously, sharing the prize pool with the entire top 16 cut. From me to you personally, like, great idea.
Hey, we appreciate it, man. We definitely just wanted to get this into as many hands as possible. You know, I know a lot of the tournaments can't be all open to everybody, and we know a lot of people have family, you know, work on the weekends. So we're just excited we got to run it. We got 80 people to play in it this first time we ran anything. You know, we took a ton of feedback. We think we ran it relatively smooth, and we have a lot that we can learn. And you know, we're just excited to keep going with more. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna do these definitely more. Just stay tuned. We'll have more announcements coming, but yeah, I mean, huge thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to everyone who played in the tournament. Thank you to the streamers today that were, you know, able so we could watch these games with everybody. Thank you to Twitch chat for joining in. I know we had a lot of people just excited to be watching this as well. And MartinKartin, dude, taking it home, $125, an invitation on the Twin Sunz podcast. And you know, I didn't really mention this, but I'm going to give him a special role in the Discord as champion for ultimate bragging rights.
Excelente. So, I mean, that's going to be great. Right? And then, you know, now MartinKartin being invited to that community, make sure if you want to join the Twin Sunz podcast or some of the other multitudes of Discord servers that Runeterra has available to get into the competitive scene. That is the point of these grassroots tournaments, is to, you know, keep them open for everybody who wants to participate. And like any competitive endeavor, if you think you aren't good enough, it doesn't matter. Jump in there, get the experience. At the very least, you get to see whether or not the deck you like maybe does well in the metagame, or some new crazy build with, you know, the Dreadway turns out to be something incredibly powerful. And I think with that all being said, we can let you beautiful people ski-daddle for today. I want to give a last shout out to Fresh Lobster, of course, for the raid, and Gvuardya once again for providing that perspective. Riot, if you see this VOD or if you're watching right now, cross-shard spectate. I was one of the people begging for cross-shard friendlies for a long time, but now we need cross-shard spectate. And give me the in-game tournament client. Let's make it happen, Riot Games.
Yeah, seriously. And, you know, massive shout out to you as well. Thank you so much for putting on the show. You absolutely crushed it, set this whole thing up. So massive thank you to Scarzig. If you guys aren't following, if you're not subbed, get in here. This guy is consistently my favorite streamer on Twitch talking about Runeterra, and it's not always gameplay, but it's just balance talk and all of that. So huge props to Scarzig. Make sure you're jumping in and checking him out.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Twin Sunz. I'm seeing a last minute raid from Cosmic. Now, the thing is that now, this time right now is normally when the stream typically starts, but we did actually reschedule the tournament in order for it to be a little bit more accommodating to our EU competitors, which I was more than happy to do. So now that I have been streaming for nearly 5 hours, we do need to cut it. So we'll find somebody else to raid, and we'll share the love from Fresh Lobster and Cosmic Plays. Big shout out to you, buddy. But with that all being said, have a good one.
See you guys.